April, most of the Alpine is still covered in deep snow. Mountain goats have short legs and can get bogged down in as little as 18 inches of snow, so the goats stay in south-facing cliff areas where the snow melts early. April is a windy month. In the following clips, mountain goats struggle to stay upright in a strong wind. Most alpine plants have not greened up yet, so mountain goats browse on balsam fir. Goats have trimmed these balsam fir trees down to the ground and as high as they can reach. In the alpine, balsam trees are trimmed down to the level of the snowpack in winter. April is a month of sun, followed by wet snow flurries, followed by sun again. Slowly, the snow is disappearing. Mountain goats spend time in the very highest part of the forest, a good place to find browse, and it can be warmer than in the higher alpine. It's the 4th week of May, and the first of the new kids are born. This is a newborn with its mother. Most mountain goat kids will be born in the 3-week period from May 21 to the 15th of June. In the alpine, birth is always high risk, and some kids will not survive the first hours. By the middle of June, most low elevation snow is gone, and the mountain goats can start to travel away from their winter home. This goat is starting to shed its winter coat. It's the end of June, and this trio of goats keep in the shade when the temperature reaches 30 degrees Celsius. Another goat in the shade. This nanny and her yearling are safe in the middle of a cliff. Mosquitoes, black flies, no-see-ums, and horseflies are common in the alpine in June and July. On hot, dry days, goats take refuge from insects by climbing high to get into the wind. Mountain goats shed their heavy winter coat in July and August. These nannies still have their heavy winter coat in mid-July. In this series of photos, you see mountain goats lose their winter coats. The first photo is on July 22. 4 days later, and more of the winter coat has dropped off. By the 9th of August, most of the winter coat is gone, and the goats have their short summer coat. The growth of their new winter coat starts right away and will be ready for cold and snow by mid-October. It's the first part of August. Many insects are gone for the season, and goats can now come down from the windy high ridges to feed in the lower alpine. The lush vegetation at low elevations is the best browse for mountain goats to put on weight for the coming winter season, but there are more predators near tree line and more places for bears and wolves to hide in order to ambush goats. Let's illustrate 3 zones in the alpine critical to mountain goats. The Thrive Zone at low elevation up to 5,800 feet elevation. The Survive Zone from 5,800 feet up to over 6,300 feet. And the Starve Zone from there to the top of the mountain at 7,300 feet. Each zone comes with a different risk for attack from a predator. Mountain goats seldom spend any time in the Starve Zone. There's not enough browse or water in the rocks, snowfields, and glaciers at the top of our mountains. The mountain peaks have more severe storms and colder temperatures year-round. The only reason goats spend any time here is to get into the wind to escape from insects. The goats have to drop down from the peaks to find water and green feed. This is the highest green vegetation in the Survive Zone. It's late to green up in spring and the first to go brown in late summer. In summer, mountain goats prefer alpine with lots of water. They will venture to dry mountains, but they don't stay long. Goats depend on glaciers and permanent snowfields as dependable sources of water. Many of our glaciers are shrinking due to global warming, and that means that the best summer habitat for mountain goats, alpine including glaciers, is also shrinking. There is always a trade-off. Keep low in the alpine with the best browse and risk ambush by a predator, or keep high in the cliffs where it's safer, but where feed is less nutritious and less abundant. Mountain goats take big risks at times. This nanny and kid are more than 200 meters from the nearest cliffs. They are browsing in mountain balsam so thick they have trouble seeing each other. But it's September. The mosquitoes and flies that plagued them in July in this thicket are gone. There's good browse here, and obviously the goats think that the risk of ambush from a predator is low. What they don't know is that I just hiked through that balsam thicket not more than 30 meters away from them. They did not see me, or smell me, or hear me. They never did know I was there. October comes and summer is over in the alpine by the middle of the month. At the end of October, cold weather brings the rut, and 3 billies pass our camera.